The 294 or 295 RL Montana High Country here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan, just landing today. The only difference in those numbers is just which refrigerator is present. This has it's a title holder among the Montana lineup. It is the new smallest Montana there is. It comes in 34 feet, just about right on the nose, makes it far more towable than a lot of their 40-foot models. And it's about 11,000 pounds right on the nose. So it's potentially 3/4 ton towable, which is something a lot of big Montanas can't say. But it's still fully featured. We still have auto leveling, 2 airs, the 0 to 100 degree plus capacity. They got the tank heaters, king bed, all the good stuff you expect out of Montana. It also still has the full-time RV warranty. And another cool thing on all Keystone products is all of their products have a fully transferable warranty, because they stand behind their product. They don't stand just behind the owner. You know, there's a key difference there. And they did so many things so right, and it begins right here before we even open up the slide. At a glance, you're like, dude, what am I looking at? I'm looking at the side of a slide out. But it's what you can do when the slides are closed that I want to demonstrate. Because they designed this thing to leave just enough room. You can take a single sideways 2-step, you can slide through here, and you see that we can access the entirety of the refrigerator with the slide closed. You can get to the sink enough to, you know, make a quick meal at least. If you need to, you could have a couple people sitting here and grabbing a quick bite to eat. And of course, you can get to the master bedroom and the bathroom in transit. So this is an awesome model that opens up with these opposing slides that gives us all kinds of room at a destination, but it remains totally viable and functional while in transit. And that's a hard set of qualities to find in a big fifth wheel like this. But no surprise, Montana being the leader they are, they get it done. It's still really impressive to me. This has such a good living area. But again, they squished it down into 34 feet on the nose. This is now, again, the smallest of all the Montanas, yet it's still fully featured. Like, we've got whisper ducted AC up here, but what's really cool, every single Montana, our main living room AC, also includes a heat pump on this thing, an electric heat pump, so that in conjunction with your electric space heating fireplace, this thing has a ton of heating potential without ever touching your propane. That skylight up there adds a lot of extra natural ambient light on top of all the windows. Although, just like the window shades, you do have a cover that you can pull down over that so you don't feel like an ant under a magnifying glass in a hot climate, although it'll still let plenty of light bleed through. We've got the rain censoring vent fan up top here, so that on a drizzle day like today, that thing, if it was raining, like if it wasn't raining when you're at your campsite and it started raining when you left, it'd take care of itself. It'd close itself right down, and they've got plenty of lighting in here. So if you do have all the shades drawn, or if it is the middle of the night, you're always going to be comfortable. This one also has well, I call it all the time, the no neck wrecker entertainment center, where your power theater recliner is directly across from that entertainment. But as you see, the TV can still pivot out. It's not fixed in position. So if you want it to turn toward your dining, if you want to make it turn toward that rear sofa and have yourself a little conversation corner, that is something that you can absolutely accomplish within this model. This floor plan, like most of the similar Montanas, very guest friendly. They've got a larger 3-section trifold hide-a-bed back here. It's easy to miss that difference. Count those sections up, 1, 2, 3. But they still include these nice small little side stands with power outlets next to each side of it. So it's good for phone chargers, but also if you have adult friends, not just grandkids, like grown-up friends, want to come over camping, maybe they're a CPAP user. Well, you could have friends over for a weekend with a CPAP machine here, and they could still sleep well. They don't have to make the choice, do we go camping with Deb and Larry and potentially die in our sleep? Or do we sleep well tonight? Well, they can kind of have the best of both worlds here. Now, you don't necessarily have to have guests to utilize the blackout slow rise shades that you're seeing right here, but it certainly won't hurt. What's nice about these, though, if it's just sunshine and screaming hot outside, if you pull the shades like I've done right here, that is literally almost double the effectiveness of these insanely expensive RV dual pane thermal pane windows. Those things are a big misunderstanding in the RV business. It's not like a household thermal pane window. Literally just pulling those shades right there. It's called the poor man's thermal pane window, but frankly it's a smart person's thermal pane window because it is way more effective and hey, extra privacy to boot. And as long as we're talking about windows, I want to point out a couple things here. First of all, every single window in this floor plan opens for ventilation. Also, notice that you've got ventilating windows next to all of your seat sides. So whether you're sitting here in this power theater recliner on the sofa, at the dining table, all these windows are going to open to always give you, good views, good airflow, good everything. Pretty common freestanding table and chairs, although this is technically an optional piece of equipment here. Montana High Countries all come with a booth standard, so a table and chairs will always be a swap out. Now, a quick note on these slides themselves. They are taller. This is a 6.5 foot interior height. And to kind of demonstrate why that's important, if you're tall like me, like I'm 6'2", 6'3", with shoes, with hat, with whatever, I can walk in this slide out. So if I stand up at that dining table, I don't run the risk of bonking my head on the roof or that light fixture or anything like that. And of course, you do have the little extension leaf there for some extra, seat space, guest space, whatever. As we pan around, one of the other things that I like in here is they just absolutely killed it in this kitchen with a ton of storage. But first, a quick note, that refrigerator. This is the 294 RL Montana. That has an RV refrigerator, a gas electric refrigerator. The 295 has a residential electric only fridge. Typically, we slant very heavily to these RV refrigerators, and especially on a model like this, that is, only 34 feet long and very towable in comparison to so many big fifth wheels. If you do plan to tow and go, this is absolutely the setup I recommend, simply due to the fact that the residential electric only refrigerators, I'm not saying they have a 80% failure rate, but we've seen poor service records from them in situations where those RVs are towed with high frequency. Starting up front here, we've got this handy little entry area, little shelf you can drop some mail or something, set your keys down, your phone, although this little pocket right above that makes a perfect phone charger, doesn't it? That right there, though, is ideal as like a little coffee maker corner. And they've got just enough shelving, like if you've got your, your favorite coffee mugs and everything, you can have them all right there. Pardon the little carpet square. The RV's not level currently, and that big pantry door kept wanting to close on me. And I really wanted you folks to be able to get to see in there. What's nice is there's a couple areas, like in the pass-through in that pantry, it's motion-activated lighting. So it's automatically on when you need it, where you need it. As we come over here into the kitchen, you are greeted by the convection microwave oven, that big residential-sized convection microwave. Those are neat for a few reasons. One, that thing's big enough you can actually cook stuff in it. But two, convection cooks 25% faster and with 25% less heat introduced into the RV. And I've never heard anybody complain about their RV staying cooler when they're cooking. Never heard that before. Down below, I love what they did here. And they do this in like the 3120 RL Montana, which is kind of like this one's big brother in some respects. Great counter space. And it's a symmetrical kitchen area within this slide out. You've got power outlets and counter and prep space on both sides of that flush mount stove, so you can actually really use that for counter area. Down below, the larger 22-inch oven versus a smaller 16 with plenty of shelf space. And even below the oven, we're getting a full drawer, not just a little shelf. But we're not done. This has one of my favorite things I like to talk about all the time, the Pantrytainment Center, where the TV actually acts like a door for potential storage space behind it. And all of this cabinetry, by the way, is all pocket screwed lumber core. Basically, real wood, all real screwed together, not particle board, not staples, not beaver puke, stuff that's actually going to hold together and last long term. Now, if I take just a little shift over here, start right on that microwave, 2 outlets. Go over to the coffee bar. There's an outlet. Look at the front of this island right here. This has outlets, and they are all very easy to reach. And that's another thing Keystone's very good about. They understand who camps, how they camp, and they understand that appliances continue to get shorter and shorter power cords, and they make sure you don't have to deal with it. And as they say in the infomercials, but wait, there's more! Because we haven't even looked at the island, really. We've talked about the solid surface stuff. You see that high-rise metallic sprayer head faucet. Now, there's kind of a thing in the RV business. Usually you get either the big farm sink or you get the 2-bowl sink. Montana went, we could do both. And one of the things that makes the RV very travel accessible is that instead of extending the countertop further, they give you an extension leaf right there. So you have the prep space when you get to your destination, but you have the fridge access in transit. Down below the sink, you see that it does include a nice little wastebasket, Plenty of room down there for the wastebasket, as well as some things like some dish soaps, and plywood drawers down to the floor right here. And notice the little toe kick all around that island, so you can really like kind of belly up to the bar. And that little indirect accent lighting right under the countertop line. It's easy to miss, but where that's really nice is when you're camping in the evening and you need to be able to see and get around here. Also, sometimes I forget to talk about these, but it's kind of one of those things it's a big item for me. The little coat hooks right by the door, right when you walk in, with the little drunken, "Hey, you wanna fight?" kind of octopus sort of thing. Doesn't that look like an octopus? It's like, "So what, buddy? You wanna fight? Come on, fight me." Anyway, I don't even know what that voice is. Moving on. Up here in the bathroom, but first, the bathroom doorway. And you're going, what? What do you mean the bathroom doorway? Well, look how thick this is. Something Keystone does a ton of, all the way through, almost all of Keystone construction. They have fully studded out doorways, 3-inch fully framed doors here. So like walk into a lot of RVs and like try to grab this overhead area and pound on it. And a lot of times it's either not there because there's no structure, or it wobbles. You know, try not to break it. Be careful on a lot of other brands. You're not going to have that happen on Keystone stuff. It's super thick, super studded. Now as I step in here into the bathroom, right above the toilet, this bathroom's interesting. It's kind of a combination of old and new mixed together. We've got a handy little kind of mini linen cabinet, mini soaps or whatever you want, but there's a ton of other storage in here we haven't seen yet. So as we come down, first of all, porcelain foot flush with just tons of legroom, or when you get out of the shower here, we have all sorts of room to actually stand up and get dressed. And this is really interesting to me. I was just talking with someone yesterday. I mean, couldn't have timed this any better. And they said, you know, I like that radius shower that camper has. We were looking at a different RV. This one wasn't here yet, obviously. And they said, I would rather have just a normal one-person shower. I don't need a 55-inch shower. I need a shower that I can get into with a radius enclosure and enough headroom that I can get clean and get out. And I would instead rather have extra storage space. And then what shows up the next day? The Montana that does literally exactly that. I wish this was here yesterday. And not only is this just an incredible chunk of storage, this is actually part of the bedroom slide. That's actually why this one, despite being shorter than the 305 RL Montana High Country, it does weigh slightly more because it does have a larger upper deck slide. And if you notice down below that shelf, that's where your washer dryer prep in this floor plan is located. And why is it in here? We'll talk about that in just a moment. But even if you throw, like, let's say you throw a combo job in there, you still got plenty of good linen space on top. And frankly, this is way easier to access than those tall toothpick kind of cabinet doors you find in a lot of RVs. You still have your normal vanity. We've got sealed edge thermofoil counters here in the bathroom. And I like how they put that faucet kind of off to the corner. It's still very easy to use, but it means that they can push the sink back a little bit and give you more functional countertop space. And they didn't waste an opportunity for any storage below that. Really, just like the kitchen island, they kind of applied the same concepts here. They said, hey, let's give them space for a wastebasket. Let's give them room for extra bottles of shampoo or whatever. Now, as we step in here into the bedroom, you see why the washer-dryer prep is in that slide out. Because they gave this thing a little bit different front end. First time I saw this from Keystone was actually in the 361 RLW Cougar last fall. But Cougar and Montana, it's like peas and carrots. They really play nice together, even though they're technically separate camps. But neither here nor there. What this does, ladies and gentlemen, is it allows for plenty of storage to still be found in this RV, but includes that beautiful looking front windshield, which makes the whole master suite up here look and feel larger. We'll seal that storage open in a second, but first I want to mention that second air conditioner that we have here, both of which fully tie into the central AC ducting, so you get superior whole house airflow as a result. Now, this is a dual entry bathroom, which is another rare find in the Montana family. Most of them are a single entry door bed bath only. What's nice though is when they extended the slide, it created a huge, super CPAP friendly stand over here. That's a rare thing, you know, in any 34-foot fifth wheel with a big CPAP stand like that is hard to find in today's market. The 70 by 80 king bed that you see here, and that does fully lift for storage, but why talk about it when we could just see it? And I like how when you lift up that easy lift bed decking, you can still see like all plywood material being used. They're not using a second-hand material. on the industry's most successful fifth wheel. Now, we've got that big front storage area, and I realize that as I stand up now, that bed's kind of in the way, isn't it? Let's fix that. So remember that in addition to these dual hanging closets with like kind of cabinet dresser shelves above, and all these big dresser drawers down below the windshield, which obviously has that privacy shade itself, just like the living room, you've also got that huge closet that's washer-dryer prepped in the slide-out in the bathroom area. But what if I told you you could just as easily use this bedroom as an office with no modifications? Now, I don't know if they meant to do this or if it was just what Bob Ross would call a happy little accident. Bob Ross. But if you look up here, you've got these household and USB plugs. Well, that's going to be good for like charging a phone, but what if it could do more? What if you could throw like a little tablet or a laptop or something up there? You sit on the edge of the bed, use that like a chair, basically, and you've kind of got yourself like a neat little built-in office area. You could easily repurpose one of those drawers for like office stuff. I mean, this could very much be a full-timer's RV for someone who is a business person on the go, who pipelines or does work camping or job site kind of stuff for like construction people. There's a lot of different ways that this one could work. Pardon my hand flipping through. There was a gnat coming after me. I feared for my life, I swear to God. You get the point. You could use this RV in different ways. I'd like to begin outside by pointing out a couple things on the side walls here. It's less obvious with the weather that we're experiencing right now, the overcast, the rain, the high gloss skin package that's on this, and the good looks that that provides. And that really ties right into that very aesthetically pleasing windshield up front. But remember, you still have plenty of storage up there. It just makes the bedroom look and feel so much larger. Another key note on the sidewalls of all Montanas is that they're not hand routed. All Montanas, and actually Fusions and Impacts share this quality as well. They're the only Keystone products that do this. They're CNC routed sidewalls. So they are machine precise down to 1/1000th of an inch to make sure that everything has a tight fit and feel every single time. As we opened up previously, you know, we still have the full auto leveling, all the things you expect out of a big fifth wheel. Of course, they're all here. The, you know, seasonal insulation package with your tank heaters. Montana's had that stuff since '05. The tank heaters are a little bit newer edition, but they've been cold, hot camp rated for years and years. We've also got the Road Armor pin box and suspension package on here so that this thing has a better, smoother ride on your on your way to your destination. And I think on this floor plan, more than any other Montana, since this is the shortest and one of the very lightest that they make, it's good that this one is built for comfortable towing. Couple smart details here. I love the double gas struts on this baggage door right here so that you don't have to like try to hold the thing up. And they didn't rely on a cheap plastic holdback since this thing's sitting out at basically a 90-degree perpendicular angle. It'd just be too much weight for one of those holdbacks. So it makes it easy to get to all the way through your pass-through storage, but also your fully enclosed, protected, heated docking center down here. This is where you'll find your hookups for your Key TV system. And if you're not familiar with that, one of the cool things on these Keystones is that every single interior TV plug has a direct line run to this connector right here. There's no junctions, there's no single signal loss or attenuation. There's no need for a signal antenna booster as a result. You've got your little convenience shower up top there, the blue coily hose just simply not hooked up. And the other thing I like on this is how everything is just very clearly labeled. Like this one's for winterizing, this one's for tank flushing. It's very, very simple. Another nice touch too is that they're giving us an actual sewer hose caddy so that we can keep our black tank stuff away from all of our freshwater stuff. On a cruddy weather day like today, I think it's also a good idea to talk about their triple sealed slide systems that almost all of Keystone uses, like Cougar also does the exact same thing. The whole build of this, between this and a Cougar, they're nearly the same. Montanas are just kind of like a little bit larger generally. Now I've got one hand on an umbrella so I can't peel stuff back, but you've always got 3 seals in contact with this slide anytime it's fully opened or closed. You've got dual wiper seals and a bulb seal, so 3 points of contact. Plus, inside of those wiper seals, there's also a basically a rain gutter, so that if water, as you're opening and closing the slide, if water is kind of working its way through, it will direct it down. It'll never penetrate into the RV. Speaking of down, if you look down below that rear wall, you see a 2-inch receiver hitch on the back here. It's nice because that gives you the ability to do things like add bike racks without voiding that full timer, fully transferable 3-year structural warranty that they have on this thing. Pardon me, dang it, I literally choked on my words. But an easy to miss feature on this is that it also has backup lighting. In those tail lights, there are white sections so that when you shift into reverse on your vehicle, those will also light up. One, if you add a backup camera to this RV, it makes it easier to see, but two, it helps other drivers on the road have a better potential understanding of what your intentions are and potentially avoid a very nasty, costly accident. As we mentioned earlier, one of the main focal points of this RV was bringing all of these beautiful super slide windows over here onto the camp side so that you get to enjoy a good view of your site instead of looking at the neighbors. God forbid you actually want to open those nice slow rise roller shades and get a look at your destination, am I right? As we scan forward here, you're greeted by a couple more things that have bled into the High Country series due to their popularity in the Big Montana series. Like, it's no surprise, it's not news to anybody. It's like, oh, we've got a power awning and it's got an auto rain dump feature, which on a drizzly day like today is nice. We've obviously got the full-length LED lighting and whatnot. But if you get up here on this awning arm, one of the things that you see is a power channel on this awning rail. It's kind of similar to what you see in some homes, like if you want accent lighting over some places. There's little lights, little fans, little attachments that you can slide into that, and they'll give you power, lights, fans, whatever over here in your campsite. Now, under that awning, an easily missed feature is not just that these have a wider door, they also have a taller door. Look at the height of that door in relation to that 6.5 foot tall walk-in slide out. They're the same. It's a 6.5 foot tall residential height entry door. It's also anti-slam, which is very nice in conjunction with that folding handle. And this is one of the, I like to call them 0G stable step systems that doesn't require you to stand there and hold it. It's not going to fall down and crush your dog or your foot or your head or your grandkid, or you get the idea. Just like that. So maybe you've got like a rotator cuff issue or shoulder issue or something like that. The fact is, it's just easier to put these things up and down. They're just one hand simple. We've got our double magnet holdbacks keeping the double slam latches up in the air instead of falling down on top of your head, kind of like the steps. Everything on this is designed to be safe, simple, and easy. But you might notice you've got these silver brackets at the bottom of this door. If you live in wind country, it is possible that some wind could get behind that door and flop it down on you. So they do pre-prep it to add a simple gas strut system to prevent that from happening. But you can always use the magnet holdbacks too. It's just nice that they left you that opportunity and you don't have to guess on like where to install that kind of stuff. Down here in our pass-through, we've still got a drop frame storage with plenty of compartment space down here. You can see the aluminum skeleton work going on. You can actually see one of the heat ducts that does dump here into the basement area. Well, I guess the pass-through area, I guess you could call whatever you want to call it. This is the pass-through. There's also the belly, whichever one you want to call the basement. They're all heated, doesn't matter. That's also a motion-sensitive light, which is really handy. So you can leave that on and not have to like reach around and crawl over your cargo if you have her heavily loaded, you know, to be able to get to everything. It's just simple, easy, smart features like that that really kind of define these. And let me back up here and just give you a decent look of it while she's all opened up. Now you might notice this is actually the RV delivery driver's truck hooked up to it currently. We proactively pre-inspect every single new RV here at Haylett RV before we even accept it, before we allow it off the truck effectively, so we can always ensure that we are providing a good quality product to each and every one of our clients. Now it is a drizzly day. We've got a wet roof membrane and someone's thinking, hey dummy, you don't have to risk your life to get to do these stupid video tours. Well, really, this is no different than if you were cleaning the roof. You'd walk around up here with a hose soaking everything down, wouldn't you? And it doesn't scare me at all, because one of the nice things about these Montana roof membranes, if you listen, it's got a really rough texture skin, and frankly, my tennis shoes got a pretty good grab up here. I'm not super worried about it. Now, if it was lightning and heavy hurricane winds, yeah, you're right, I wouldn't be up here, but neither here nor there. Regardless, I still want to show you a couple cool things. The roof mount solar prep is one of the key things that I want to bring into here, because that is relatively new in the scheme of Montana high country RVs. That's only been included on these for about a year now. That's something that historically this brand did not have. The second air conditioner that you see up front there above the bedroom, that is optional, as we had mentioned before. But again, I'd be just I'd be shocked if you ever found a Montana somewhere in today's day and age built with a single air conditioner. Looking around here, all of our seals, everything, you know, very heavy-handed. They are very detail-oriented about this. And obviously, I'm walking all over this thing, no sweat. The other thing I really wanted to point out here are these white sort of puck-looking things. What are those? You'll see one up here. You'll see another one back there. Those are attic vents. So that if you are sun country camping, this thing is not going to be baking you to death from the scalp down because it exhausts heat out of that thing. Without those vents, if you put thermal probes up in the attic area of an RV in the summer sun, it could be something like 145 degrees in there. And then you just simply add 2 of these attic vents and it drops to like 85 degrees in the same situation. It's insane the difference that makes. It also helps prevent condensation from building up on your AC ducting, because what's the last thing you want in your RV? Water, right? Well, if this thing was engineered to build condensation in the attic, which is where you can't get to anything to fix it, that would obviously be a bad thing, correct? Well, this is built for that to not happen. Also, another neat thing that you can't see is Keystone has an exclusive proprietary thing they engineered. They have custom AC duct links that will prevent those AC ducts from collapsing over time and causing loss of airflow. When any of these things are built, the air is going to work fine. But unfortunately, there are a lot of dollar cheaper RVs that use an inferior AC ducting system that over time the ducts will slowly collapse and you start to lose airflow and your air starts working not as well. You won't ever have that problem here. And that's what's so cool about things like Montanas, Cougars, etc. All the way, I mean, even the little Passports do the same things. They're just a very lightweight version of Cougars, basically. Well, that's what's so cool about these guys. Every one of these RVs is good in different ways. But what I like about Keystones is they're built not just to look shiny, they're built to perform over the long haul. That's part of the reason this has that full-time RV warranty. That's part of the reason it's got a fully transferable warranty at no additional charge. It doesn't matter who owns this or how many times it's bought and sold during the warranty period. Keystone backs their product. They're not looking for a way out. They're looking for a lifelong customer. And that's probably why we do so well with them here at Haylett RV, because that's exactly what we do. We are here to forge lifetime customer relationships. And that's why we don't do things like hidden dealer fees, and that's why we do everything else, like hitching, pieces, parts, trades, finance, truck and trailer package deals, RV delivery, and everything in between. So, if that sounds good, if you appreciate what you saw here, all I ask is just for the fair opportunity to earn your business here at my family's dealership. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.